The planet Corellon had never been a peaceful place. Its skies were torn with the smoke of war, and the ground trembled with the steps of giant machines. For centuries, the Corellons and the invading Zevrons had fought over the planet's resources and strategic position in the galaxy. Humans had recently joined the fray, sent as reinforcements to aid the Corellons. Among them was Lieutenant Marcus Hale, a human warrior known for his calm mind and swift reflexes. Marcus adjusted his helmet and scanned the horizon from the ridge where his squad had taken position. Below, the battlefield stretched like a nightmare. Alien warriors of many species clashed with Zevron soldiers, while fire and energy beams scorched the ground. The air smelled of burning metal and ozone, and every second carried the risk of death. Marcus' status, called Commander Rylan, a Corellon officer with blue-scaled skin and eyes that reflected the flames of battle. All clear on this ridge, Marcus replied, but the Zevrons are pushing fast from the east. They've got heavy walkers, Rylan growled. Then we hold them here. We cannot let them break through to the city. Too many lives will be lost if they do. Marcus nodded. He gripped his plasma rifle tighter. His squad spread out, taking cover behind jagged rocks and ruined vehicles. Each knew what was at stake. Each knew that retreat was not an option. Suddenly, a massive shadow appeared over the battlefield. Marcus's heart sank. A Zevran war machine, nearly 50 feet tall, stomped through the chaos. Its weapons glowed like molten fire, sweeping across the ground and blasting everything in its path. Alien warriors screamed and dove for cover. "Move!" Marcus shouted, sprinting down the slope. He had to reach the fallen Corellons before they were crushed. His boots pounded the scorched earth. His squad followed. In the midst of the chaos, Marcus noticed a figure fighting with unmatched skill and strength. The alien was enormous even for a Corellon, with golden armor and a battle axe that glowed with energy. He moved like a storm, swinging his weapon with precision, cutting down Zevron soldiers. Marcus realized immediately that this warrior was holding the line for the retreating civilians. But the Zevron walkers were relentless. One stomped toward the golden warrior, lifting its weapon to strike. Marcus didn't think. He fired a burst from his rifle. The shots hit the walker's targeting sensors. Sparks flew and the machine faltered for a moment. The golden warrior seized the opportunity, leaping onto the walker's leg and slamming his axe into a weak point. The machine shuddered and fell, crushing the ground with a deafening crash. For a brief moment, Marcus felt hope. The warrior's strength could turn the tide. But then a smaller Zevron drone slipped behind the warrior and fired a plasma blast. Marcus's stomach dropped. He sprinted forward, raising his rifle, but the blast hit the warrior's side before Marcus could stop it. The warrior fell to one knee. He looked at Marcus with eyes full of pain but also determination. In a voice strained but strong, he called out, "Protect my family. Keep them safe." Marcus skidded to his side. Who do you mean?" The warrior struggled to speak, coughing up blood. He pointed weakly toward a small group of figures hiding behind the rubble. A woman and a young girl, trembling but unharmed. "Wife, daughter, Marcus, please." Marcus's heart clenched. He had seen many die in battle, but never had someone trusted him with something so personal. He nodded firmly. "I swear. I will protect them. I promise." The golden warrior gave a small, tired smile. "Thank you, human. Our honor ends, but hope continues." His eyes closed. Marcus felt the weight of the moment settle over him like a heavy stone. Around him, the battle raged on, but Marcus ignored it for a moment. He had a new mission now, one that went beyond survival or victory. He had to protect this alien family no matter what it took. He turned toward the hiding figures. The woman's eyes were wide with fear, but there was a glimmer of hope as she looked at him. She was tall, with silver skin that shimmered even in the dust and smoke, and her hair glowed faintly under the burning sky. The girl clutched her mother's hand, her small form shaking. Marcus knelt down to meet their eyes. "You're safe now," he said softly. "I won't let anything happen to you." The woman's lips trembled, and she nodded slowly. The girl peeked out from behind her mother, studying Marcus with cautious curiosity. For a moment, the battlefield faded, leaving only the three of them and the promise that had been made. "Come with me," Marcus said, motioning toward a safer path down the ridge. "We need to get out of here before the Zevrons regroup." They moved quickly, Marcus scanning constantly for threats. Every step was tense. Explosions rocked the ground and Zevron patrols scoured the area. Marcus's training guided him as he led the family through hidden paths and ruined structures, avoiding the worst of the fighting. Finally, they reached a ruined shuttle pad. Marcus helped the woman and child climb aboard a small human transport. He checked the systems, praying they would hold together for the journey ahead. The shuttle shuddered to life and he guided it upward, dodging fire from a nearby Zevron turret. As the shuttle lifted, Marcus looked back at the battlefield. He saw the Golden Warrior's body lying motionless, a silent hero who had given everything to protect his family. Marcus felt a surge of respect and sorrow. He had always known that war demanded sacrifice, but now he understood the personal cost in a way he never had before. The woman spoke softly in her alien language, words Marcus didn't fully understand. But her tone was clear, gratitude, sorrow, and a quiet hope. The girl peeked out the window, staring at the shrinking battlefield, her small hand clutching her mother's. Marcus adjusted his course. "We'll be okay," he said, more to himself than to them. "I won't let anyone hurt you." Hours passed in tense silence. The shuttle dodged Zevron patrols and navigated asteroid fields, the stars outside a blur of light and shadow. Marcus kept watch, scanning for threats but also observing the two passengers. The woman seemed to relax slightly, though she never let her guard down completely. The girl finally spoke, her voice timid but curious. "You, human?" she asked, her alien accent soft and cautious. Marcus smiled faintly. "Yes, my name is Marcus."
"And you?"
The girl's mother spoke first, introducing them in careful words. Marcus nodded, committing the names to memory. Names, he realized, were powerful. They were more than identifiers. They were bonds, connections that gave life meaning even in war. As the shuttle drifted through the void, Marcus reflected on what lay ahead. He had fought many battles, but none like this. Now he carried not only weapons and skill, but the trust of a family. Their lives depended on him, and he would not fail. The galaxy was vast and dangerous. Zevrons lurked in shadows. Pirates roamed unclaimed space, and the unknown could strike at any moment. But Marcus Hale had faced worse. He had survived when others fell, and now he had a purpose greater than any mission or battle. He would protect this alien wife and daughter, honoring the fallen warrior's final wish. The shuttle continued its course, a small beacon of hope in a universe full of chaos. Inside, a human, an alien mother, and her child began a journey that would test courage, forge bonds, and reveal the true strength of humanity. Somewhere, amid the stars and the endless darkness, Marcus felt a quiet determination settle in his chest. No matter what lay ahead, he would not fail. He could not. For the promise he had made, for the trust given to him, for the family who now depended on him. He would fight with all his strength, all his heart and all his skill, and so, as Corellon's battlefields faded into the distance, a new story began, not of war but of honor, courage, and the unbreakable bonds forged in the fires of the galaxy. The shuttle hummed softly as it glided through the dark expanse of space. Stars streaked past like silver rivers, and distant nebulae painted the void with colors Marcus had never seen in any gallery. For a moment, the battle on Corellon felt like a memory, distant yet haunting. The faces of the Golden Warrior, his wife and his daughter, stayed with Marcus, reminding him of the promise he had made. The alien mother, Liara, watched the stars silently. Her silver skin shimmered faintly under the soft lights of the shuttle. Her daughter, a small girl named Elira, sat beside her, gripping a stuffed creature from their home planet, a creature Marcus didn't recognize. Marcus kept the controls steady, though his mind wandered. He was used to danger, but this responsibility was different. No longer was he fighting for a mission or a military objective. He was fighting for lives, for trust, for hope itself. Liara finally spoke, her voice quiet but firm. "Human, you saved him. Why? Why risk yourself for one of us?" Marcus glanced at her. She was wary, her tone carrying a mixture of sorrow and suspicion. He understood. In her culture, trust was earned, not given. "I didn't know him personally," Marcus said honestly, "but he trusted me. And now his family. That trust is mine. I don't break promises." Liara studied him for a long moment. Her eyes, the color of glimmering steel, softened slightly. "Trust, it is rare in this galaxy. Few humans keep their word." Marcus chuckled softly. "I hope I prove you wrong." Elira peeked out from behind her mother. You promise? She asked timidly. Marcus smiled. I promise. No one will hurt you. I'll protect you always. The small girl's eyes brightened, though she didn't speak again. Marcus could sense her fear slowly easing, replaced by a cautious hope. The shuttle continued its course, but danger was never far in space. A sudden alarm blinked on the control panel. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Zevron scouts. They must have tracked us from Corellon. Liara tensed and Elira hugged her mother tightly. Marcus activated the shields and prepared for evasive maneuvers. He had faced Zevron scouts before, but now his concern wasn't just his life. It was theirs. The first attack came from the left, small ships darting like aggressive insects. Marcus swerved the shuttle, weaving through the attacks, returning fire only when absolutely necessary. Liara covered Elira, whispering soothing words in her alien tongue. Marcus watched her carefully. Despite the danger, she remained calm, focused on protecting her child. He admired her strength. Hours passed in tense silence, punctuated by sudden bursts of combat. Marcus managed to outmaneuver the scouts using quick thinking and human ingenuity. He used asteroid fields, narrow asteroid belts, and cosmic debris to his advantage. The Zevrons, frustrated by his maneuvers, eventually gave up the chase. When the shuttle finally emerged into open, quiet space, Marcus exhaled slowly. We're safe for now, he said. Liara relaxed slightly. You are clever, human. Perhaps there is more to you than strength, Marcus smiled. There's more to all of us than you see at first. Sometimes survival requires thinking, not just fighting. For the next few days, the journey continued, but the tension eased slightly. Marcus used the time to learn more about Liara and Elira. Though language was a barrier, he found ways to communicate. Liara taught him simple words in her language, while Marcus explained some human customs. Elira was curious, asking questions about the stars, the shuttle, and Marcus himself. Marcus answered carefully, keeping the truth simple but honest. He found himself growing fond of the small girl. Her curiosity reminded him of the innocence he had almost forgotten in the chaos of war. One evening, as the shuttle drifted near a bright nebula, Elira asked, Human, why do you fight? Marcus thought carefully. He had fought for many reasons, duty, survival, loyalty, but now he had a new purpose. I fight to protect, he said finally, to keep people safe, to keep promises, and to make sure hope is never lost. Elira's eyes sparkled. Like my father? Marcus nodded. Exactly like him. He was brave, and he believed in hope too. The girl smiled faintly, hugging her stuffed creature tightly. Marcus felt a warmth in his chest he hadn't felt in years. War had taught him to survive, but this journey was teaching him to care, to connect, and to lead. But peace was fragile. As the shuttle approached a neutral space station for supplies, a new danger emerged. A Zevron raider ambushed them in the station's outskirts. Marcus reacted quickly, maneuvering the shuttle to avoid incoming fire. Liara held Elira close, whispering words of comfort, while Marcus fired the shuttle's limited defensive weapons. The battle was short, but fierce. Marcus managed to disable the raider with a well-placed shot to its engines. The raider drifted harmlessly into a nearby asteroid field. Marcus exhaled, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders even more. Every encounter reminded him that the galaxy was hostile, and that his promise must never falter. Inside the station, Marcus guided Liara and Elira through the busy corridors. The station was alive with various species, traders, smugglers, travelers, all moving with purpose. Marcus felt a strange mix of relief and unease. Even here, danger could lurk in shadows. Liara observed everything carefully, her eyes sharp. Marcus noticed she wasn't just cautious. She was studying him, evaluating his every action. Trust was building, but slowly they found quarters to rest. Marcus insisted that Liara and Elira have privacy, while he stayed on alert in a small control room nearby. That night he thought about the warrior who had fallen on Corellon. His sacrifice had given these two a chance at life, and Marcus was determined not to waste it. Over the next several days, Marcus and the alien family continued to bond. They shared stories, often through gestures, drawings, and simple phrases. Marcus learned that Liara had been a scout before her husband died, skilled in strategy and survival. Elira was clever, observant, and surprisingly brave for her age. One morning, as Marcus repaired some minor damage to the shuttle, Elira approached him shyly. Human, You teach me? She asked. Marcus looked up and smiled. Teach you what? How to fight? How to survive like you? Marcus felt a pang of hesitation. She was still a child, but her curiosity and courage were undeniable. I can teach you to be careful, to think ahead, and to stay safe, and he said. Fighting is dangerous, and strength alone is not enough. You must learn to think, to act wisely, and to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Elira nodded seriously. I will try. Liara watched silently, a mixture of relief and concern on her face. She understood the lessons Marcus offered were more than combat. They were about resilience, courage, and intelligence. As they left the station and continued their journey, Marcus reflected on how much responsibility he had taken on. He was a human among aliens, navigating strange customs, languages, and dangers, and yet he felt a strange sense of purpose he had never felt before. The lives of Liara and Elira depended on him, and he would rise to that challenge. That night, the shuttle drifted through the quiet stars. Marcus stood at the viewport watching the endless black, dotted with lights of distant worlds. Beside him, Liara and Elira slept, trusting him to keep them safe. Marcus tightened his grip on the railing and whispered quietly, I won't fail. Not for them. Not for him. The galaxy was vast and danger could strike at any moment, but Marcus Hale, human warrior and protector, had found a new mission, one that would test his courage, his wisdom, and his heart. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, he knew one thing for certain. The journey had only just begun. The shuttle hummed steadily as Marcus guided it through the neutral sectors of the galaxy. Liara and Elira were seated quietly, still cautious but more trusting than before. The days of constant travel had created a rhythm. They ate, rested, and talked in small ways that bridged the gap between human and alien. Marcus had grown protective and watchful, but a lingering unease gnawed at him. In space, calm never lasted long. Their destination was a small colony on the edge of human-alien territory. It was not much, but it was a place where Liara and Elira could rest safely and perhaps begin to rebuild some normalcy. Marcus had chosen it carefully. The colony was neutral, and many species lived there in peace, or at least tried to. As they approached, Marcus scanned the area for threats. At first, everything seemed quiet. The colony's lights twinkled like fireflies against the black sky, and small ships moved gently in and out of the docking stations. But then, a warning alarm rang in the shuttle. Marcus's chest tightened. He checked the sensors. Something or someone was approaching fast. Zevron's signatures appeared on the scanners. They were not alone. Zevrons, Marcus muttered. They tracked us again. Liara stiffened. Elira clutched her mother's arm. What they want? Liara asked, her voice low but steady. They want trouble, Marcus said. We'll deal with it. He adjusted the shuttle's shields and activated its limited weapons. The Zevrons were organized, a small fleet ready to strike. Marcus realized that this was not a random encounter. Someone had sent them intentionally, hoping to recapture or harm the family. Hang on, Marcus said. He maneuvered the shuttle through the colony's outer fields, weaving between structures and small ships. The Zevrons opened fire, sending beams of energy streaking through space. Marcus returned fire, disabling one of their smaller ships with a precise shot. Sparks flew and the ship spiraled into a nearby asteroid. Liara held Elira close, whispering comfort in their language. Marcus could hear her soft words, a rhythm that seemed to steady even the small girl. The bond between mother and child was strong, and Marcus felt the weight of responsibility more than ever. The battle continued, but Marcus knew they could not stay in open space. He aimed for the colony's defense perimeter. Its automated turrets and shields would provide temporary safety, but only if they could reach them. Just a little further, Marcus muttered, pushing the shuttle's engines to their limit. The Zevrons were close behind, their attacks precise and relentless. Marcus fired the shuttle's limited energy cannons, targeting their engines and weapon systems. One by one, the enemy ships faltered, but the danger remained. Finally, the shuttle slipped through the perimeter. The colony's turrets activated, firing with precision at the Zevron fleet. Explosions lit the dark sky, and Marcus exhaled, feeling a momentary relief. The colony was alive, alert, and ready to defend itself. Once the immediate threat was neutralized, Marcus landed the shuttle on a secure platform. He helped Liara and Elira down, keeping them close. The colony's guards approached, weapons ready but eyes showing relief. "You're safe now," Marcus said. "For a while at least." Liara nodded, her expression a mixture of gratitude and concern. "You are brave, human. You face the impossible and do not falter." Marcus shrugged lightly. "I do what I must, and I will do more if needed." Inside the colony, Marcus led them to temporary quarters. The walls were simple but sturdy, and for the first time in days, Elira could move freely without fear of immediate danger. She ran across the small room, her small laughter ringing out like a delicate bell. Marcus felt a rare smile form on his lips, but the calm did not last. During the evening, as Marcus was checking the shuttle's systems for damage, an urgent alarm sounded. The colony's communications officer, a multi-limbed alien named Varric, approached. "Marcus," Varric said, his voice tense. "Sensors indicate Zevron scouts are nearby. They are small in number, but they are heavily armed. They are preparing to attack the colony itself." Marcus frowned. "We need to act fast. Liara, Elira, stay here. Don't go outside until I tell you." Liara nodded sharply. "We will stay, but if you are hurt, who protects us?" Marcus smiled faintly. "I'll be fine. Just trust me for a little longer." He left the room and moved to the colony's control center. Screens flickered with the incoming Zevron ship's positions. Marcus studied their patterns, noting weaknesses in their formation. The colony's defenses were strong, but the Zevrons were skilled attackers. It would require careful strategy, not just firepower, to keep everyone safe. Marcus tapped into the colony's defense network. Automated turrets, shield boosters, and trap systems could all be activated remotely. He positioned them strategically, anticipating the Zevrons' movements. Then he prepared the final line of defense, a series of decoy ships and electromagnetic pulses designed to confuse the enemy. When the Zevrons attacked, Marcus was ready. The first wave of ships was met with a barrage of precise energy blasts and traps. Explosions lit the sky, sending debris scattering. The Zevrons adjusted, trying to flank the colony, but Marcus anticipated their every move. Inside the control center, he stayed calm, issuing commands with efficiency. Turrets fired, shields flared, and decoys moved unpredictably. The Zevrons were forced to retreat or risk destruction. Marcus's strategy worked perfectly. After the attack, Marcus returned to Liara and Elira's quarters. The mother and daughter were unharmed but visibly shaken. Elira clung to Marcus. "You saved us again," she whispered. Marcus knelt to her level. "I told you I will protect you. No one can stop me from keeping my promise." Liara approached, placing a hand on Marcus's shoulder. "You are more than a warrior, human. You are wise. You see danger before it comes. You protect not only with strength, but with your mind. Our people rarely find such allies." Marcus felt a deep sense of pride, but also humility. He was only doing what any human would do if given the same promise. But he also knew that his actions were forging a bond, one that went beyond simple trust. He was becoming part of their family, whether he intended to or not. The next day, Marcus spent time teaching Elira basic survival and problem-solving skills. He showed her how to read maps, understand simple mechanical systems, and think ahead in dangerous situations. Elira absorbed everything eagerly, her sharp mind and curiosity shining through. Liara watched quietly, occasionally joining the lessons. She had knowledge of alien tactics and survival that complemented Marcus's human experience. Together, they formed a small but effective team, ready to face any new threats. That evening, as the three of them sat together in the quiet of their quarters, Marcus reflected on how far they had come. The bond between human and aliens was growing stronger with each day. Trust was being earned, courage was being shared, and the promise he had made to the fallen warrior was being fulfilled. Yet Marcus knew the galaxy would not remain calm for long. Zevrons would not give up easily. Pirates and other dangers lurked in the void, waiting for the weak. But he felt ready. He had Liara and Elira counting on him, and he would not fail them. As night fell over the colony, Marcus stood at the window, gazing at the stars. Elira and Liara rested nearby, safe for the moment. He whispered quietly to himself, "No matter what comes, we survive, together." The galaxy was vast and full of danger, but Marcus Hale, human warrior and protector, had proven that courage, intelligence, and heart could overcome even the most relentless threats. And as he watched the distant stars twinkle, He knew one truth above all. The bond of trust he had formed with Liara and Elira was stronger than any enemy, stronger than any war. The journey ahead would be difficult, but Marcus was ready. For the fallen warrior, for the promise he had made, and for the 2 lives now entrusted to him, he would face anything, and so, the human and his alien family prepared for whatever challenges the galaxy would send next, united by trust, courage, and hope, a hope that even in darkness, they could survive and thrive. The colony had settled into a cautious peace. Its walls were sturdy, its turrets ready, and its citizens watchful. Marcus had made it clear that he would remain vigilant at all times. Every day he checked the shuttle, the colony's defenses, and their supplies. He knew that the galaxy was unpredictable, and even this brief moment of calm could vanish in an instant. Liara and Elira had begun to adapt to life in the colony. Elira explored carefully, always close to her mother or Marcus, while Liara moved with purpose, studying the colony's layout and learning its routines. Marcus noticed how much they had grown since leaving Corellon. Trust had started to take root, though both remained cautious. One morning, Marcus led Elira to a small training field near the edge of the colony. He had prepared simple exercises focusing on observation, agility, and problem-solving. Elira's small hands held a practice staff awkwardly, but her determination shone clearly in her bright eyes. "Remember," Marcus said, demonstrating a simple maneuver, "strength is not everything. You must think ahead, watch your opponent, anticipate their moves, and act with purpose." Elira mimicked him, her movements slow at first, but improving with each attempt. Marcus encouraged her patiently, correcting mistakes gently. Liara watched from the side, pride evident in her posture. "You are teaching her well," Liara said in her soft, melodic voice. "She is learning more than fighting. She is learning to survive. And to think," Marcus nodded. "That is the most important lesson. Survival is more than strength. It is intelligence, patience, and courage." As the days passed, Marcus continued teaching Elira while also sharing small skills with Liara. He showed them how to maintain the shuttle, repair small systems, and use basic human tools. Liara absorbed everything quickly, her keen mind and tactical background making her an excellent student. Together, the 3 of them formed a small, capable unit, but peace rarely lasted long in the galaxy. One evening, as Marcus inspected the colony's outer perimeter, the alarm sounded again. This time it was not a simple Zevron scout. Multiple ships appeared on the radar, larger and more organized than before. Marcus frowned. "They've brought reinforcements," he said grimly. "This is not a small raid. They want the colony." Liara appeared beside him, her silver skin reflecting the red warning lights. "Then we prepare, together." Marcus nodded. "We'll need to use everything we've learned. Strategy, speed, and careful planning. Are you ready?" Liara's eyes narrowed with determination. "I have no choice. We will not fall." Elira, though small, stood near them with a serious expression. "I help too," she said. Marcus smiled faintly. "You will. But first we must be careful. This is dangerous." They quickly coordinated with the colony's defenders. Marcus assigned positions, set traps, and prepared decoys. He explained the plan to Liara, who added her tactical expertise, adjusting the defenses to make the colony more secure. Together they created a defense that relied on intelligence and precision, rather than just brute force. When the enemy fleet arrived, Marcus's strategy came into action. Zevron's ships swooped in, expecting an easy victory, but the colony's automated turrets opened fire at the perfect moment. Decoys confused the attackers while Marcus and Liara coordinated counterattacks, targeting weak points in the ship's armor. The battle raged for hours. Explosions lit the sky and the ground trembled with the force of energy blasts. Marcus moved through the control center, issuing commands calmly and efficiently. His human instincts, combined with Liara's tactical knowledge, created a seamless defense. Elira watched from a secure location, learning as she observed. Her eyes widened as she saw strategy and courage in action. For the first time, she understood that survival and protection required more than raw strength. It required careful thought, observation, and quick decisions. By the time the Zevrons withdrew, the colony had suffered minimal damage. Marcus and Liara ensured that everyone was safe, checking each area thoroughly. Elira ran to Marcus, her small hands clutching his arm. You You saved them all, she said breathlessly. Marcus knelt to her level. We did it together. Never forget that. Liara approached, placing a hand on Marcus's shoulder. You are remarkable, human. You fight with courage, but also with wisdom. Our people. We have learned much from you. Marcus felt a surge of pride, but he remained humble. We are stronger together. You both fought alongside me in your own ways. Courage comes in many forms, not just weapons. In the following days, the bond between Marcus, Liara, and Elira strengthened. They shared meals, stories, and quiet moments of laughter. Elira began practicing small strategies with Marcus, solving puzzles and learning the logic behind tactics. Liara assisted her, teaching her how to observe, anticipate, and make decisions under pressure. One evening, as the three of them looked out at the stars from the colony's walls, Elira asked softly, Human, will we ever go back to Corellon? Marcus thought for a moment. Perhaps someday. But for now, our home is here. We have to be safe first, and we have work to do. To learn, to grow, and to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Liara nodded. He is right. Safety and knowledge come first. Then we can think of returning. Marcus realized that the family's survival depended on more than just shields and weapons. It required trust, intelligence, and understanding. He had seen courage in battle, but he had also seen the quiet strength of Liara and the growing bravery of Elira. Together, they were forming a small family of resilience. The quiet moments were also important. Marcus encouraged Elira to speak, to express herself, and to ask questions. Liara shared stories of her culture, teaching them about courage, honor, and hope. Marcus learned from her as well, gaining insights into alien tactics and ways of thinking that complemented his human instincts. One day, while repairing the shuttle, Marcus noticed a small mechanical problem that could have become serious in combat. He called Elira over. Watch closely, he said, showing her how to identify the issue and fix it safely. Elira's eyes lit with curiosity. I can do it too? Marcus smiled. Yes, but carefully. Every skill you learn now may save lives in the future. Liara watched quietly, impressed by Marcus's patience and teaching. He does more than protect, she said softly. He prepares her, and prepares us all. As the days turned into weeks, Marcus, Liara, and Elira continued their routines of training, learning, and preparation. The bond between them grew stronger with each passing day. They shared victories, small and large, and faced challenges together. Marcus felt a deep sense of purpose he had never known before. He was not just a warrior. He was a protector, a teacher, and a friend. But Marcus also knew that the galaxy was full of dangers still waiting. The Zevrons would not forget their defeats, and other threats could appear without warning. He had to ensure that Liara and Elira were ready, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally to face whatever challenges lay ahead. One quiet night, as they rested in their quarters, Elira whispered, Human, I trust you. I know you will protect us. Marcus felt a lump in his throat. I will, Elira. I promise. No matter what happens, I will never let anyone harm you or your mother. Liara placed a hand on his shoulder. We believe you, human. Your courage, your wisdom. It gives us hope. Marcus realized that hope was a powerful weapon, stronger than any shield, faster than any weapon. With trust and courage, they could face the galaxy's darkness together. As he gazed out at the stars that night, Marcus knew one truth. They were no longer just a human and aliens brought together by circumstance. They were a family forged by trust, courage, and shared purpose. And whatever threats the galaxy sent their way, they would face them together. For Marcus, Liara, and Elira, the bond of trust had become their greatest strength, and the foundation upon which their survival and future would be built. The colony had settled into a fragile peace, but Marcus knew better than to trust the quiet. He spent every day preparing for what might come next. Liara and Elira had grown stronger, braver, and wiser under his guidance. Elira practiced strategies and problem-solving with an enthusiasm that reminded Marcus of herself, while Liara had learned to trust human tactics and adapt them to her own instincts. One morning, as Marcus inspected the perimeter, a scout alert appeared on the colony's sensors. This time, the threat was larger and closer than ever before. A fleet of Zevron warships was approaching. They were faster, better armed, and clearly determined to take revenge for previous defeats. They've returned, Marcus said grimly. And this time they mean business. Liara tightened her grip on Illyra's hand. Then we fight together, Marcus nodded. Exactly. But this is not just about weapons. Strategy, intelligence, and teamwork will decide this battle. The colony's defenders were ready. Marcus coordinated with them, positioning shields, automated turrets, and decoy systems. He worked with Liara to create a plan that would protect civilians, confuse the enemy, and give them the advantage. Illyra, though small, was eager to help. Marcus gave her a simple task: monitor incoming signals and report any anomalies. Her sharp mind and observation skills proved useful immediately. When the Zevron fleet arrived, Marcus's strategy unfolded perfectly. The enemy expected an easy attack, but automated turrets fired with precision. Decoys misled their targeting systems, and Marcus and Liara coordinated counterattacks that exploited every weakness. Explosions lit the skies and the battle raged with intensity. Illyra watched from a secure command post, her eyes wide but focused. She relayed information quickly and accurately, proving that even a small contribution could make a difference. Marcus glanced at her and nodded approvingly. She had grown from a frightened child into a capable observer and participant. Hours passed and the Zevrons began to falter. Marcus and Liara noticed patterns in their attacks and anticipated their moves. With a combination of strategy and precision, the defenders gained the upper hand. Slowly, one by one, the Zevron ships were disabled or forced to retreat. Finally, the last Zevron warship attempted a desperate assault on the colony's main gate. Marcus acted decisively. He piloted a shuttle into a narrow path, using it as bait to lure the warship into a trap. Automated turrets targeted the ship from multiple angles, while Liara coordinated a final energy pulse that disabled its engines completely. The enemy ship drifted harmlessly into space, defeated. Silence followed, a calm that felt almost surreal after the chaos. Marcus exhaled slowly, allowing himself a brief moment of relief. They had survived. The colony had survived. Liara and Illyra ran to Marcus, relief and gratitude shining in their eyes. Illyra hugged him tightly. You saved everyone," she exclaimed. Marcus smiled, ruffling her hair gently. "No, we saved everyone, together. You were brave too." Liara placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder. "You have done more than protect us, Marcus. You have taught us courage, wisdom, and hope. Your actions, they will be remembered." Marcus felt a warmth in his chest. The fallen warrior from Corellon had entrusted these two lives to him, and he had fulfilled that promise. But more than that, he had become part of their family, a bond forged through danger, trust, and shared experiences. The next days were spent repairing the colony and preparing for future threats. Marcus trained Illyra further, teaching her not only survival skills but also leadership, observation, and careful decision-making. Liara assisted, blending her alien experience with Marcus's human knowledge. The young girl thrived under their guidance, her confidence and intelligence growing with each day. One evening, as they rested on the colony walls, looking out at the stars, Marcus reflected on the journey. He had faced countless battles before, but none had been like this. This was not about glory or orders, it was about responsibility, honor, and trust. He had been tested not only as a warrior, but as a protector, teacher, and friend. Illyra leaned against Marcus, her small head resting on his shoulder. "Human, will we always be together?" she asked softly. Marcus smiled. "Yes, Illyra. We will always face the future together. No matter what comes, I will be here for you and your mother." Liara stood beside them, her hand brushing lightly against Marcus's. "We have learned from you, human. You have shown that courage, intelligence, and compassion can protect lives and change the course of events. Our people will remember this." "I will remember this." Marcus nodded, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but he had proven that human courage, wisdom, and honor could create hope even in the darkest times. Weeks passed, and the colony thrived. Marcus, Liara, and Illyra continued their routines, building skills, strengthening trust, and preparing for the unknown. Illyra had grown into a capable young strategist, observing carefully, analyzing situations, and providing insights during minor skirmishes. Liara had embraced Marcus's teachings fully, combining them with her own skills to become a formidable protector. One day, Marcus received a message from the Human Command Center. They had learned of his actions on Corellon and the defense of the colony. The message praised his courage and leadership, recognizing not only his skill in combat but also his dedication to protecting alien civilians. Marcus smiled faintly. Recognition was not what he had sought, but it was comforting to know that his actions mattered beyond the small circle of the family he had protected. That evening, he shared the news with Liara and Elira. "They know what we've done," he said. "Not just the fighting, but the protection, the planning, everything. They see our efforts." Liara's eyes shone with pride. "It is deserved. You have earned respect not only as a warrior, but as a human of honor." Elira jumped up and down. "Human, we are famous," she said with a giggle. Marcus laughed, ruffling her hair again. "We are only famous to those who understand courage and responsibility. That is enough for me." The family sat together, watching the stars as night fell over the colony. The battles had tested them, taught them, and brought them closer. Marcus had fulfilled the promise to the fallen warrior, but more than that, he had created a family bound by trust, courage, and love. He knew that challenges would come again. The galaxy was unpredictable and threats were never far. But Marcus also knew that they were ready. Together they could face whatever the universe threw at them. As the night deepened, Elira whispered, "Human, you are like family now. I am glad you are with us." Marcus felt a lump in his throat. "And I am glad I am with you. You and your mother have shown me what courage and hope truly mean. We are stronger together." Liara nodded. "Yes, together we are unstoppable. You have proven that humanity's strength is not only in fighting but in protecting, teaching, and caring. Your legacy will live through us." Marcus gazed out at the stars, feeling a profound sense of peace. The battles, the fear, the sacrifices, they had all led to this moment. He had protected the lives entrusted to him, taught them courage and wisdom, and forged a bond that would last a lifetime. The galaxy was vast, and the journey ahead was uncertain. But Marcus, Liara, and Elira had proven that even in the darkness, hope could shine brightly. Human ingenuity, courage, and compassion had not only saved lives, but had also created a legacy, one that would inspire and endure. As dawn broke over the colony, Marcus stood with Liara and Elira on the highest platform, watching the light touch the distant stars. He knew that wherever the galaxy took them next, they would face it together, bound by trust, bravery, and the unbreakable ties of family. For Marcus Hale, the human warrior, the journey had begun as a mission, but it had become so much more, a promise kept, a family protected, and a legacy of courage and hope that would endure far beyond the stars. And as the light of the rising sun touched the colony, Marcus made a silent vow to the galaxy. Wherever danger appeared, wherever trust was tested, humanity would stand tall, protecting life, defending the innocent, and forging bonds stronger than any weapon, because that was what it meant to be human.